Hi guys, sorry I am a little bit late. I was running around, my mum's here and we were buying herbs for the new herb garden, and we're at Bunnings, and who doesn't get distracted while they're in Bunnings? So I'm just popping onto my page to bring up the live video so I can see your comments. I hope that you're all well. I can see someone's joined. Hi Ray. Okay, hopefully I can see the comments, and I've got a coffee, so I'll wait till you're all on and joining. Hey Liz. Hey Angela. My coffee's really hot. Hey Tracy. So if you joined last week, you will have seen that we made 3 different cards. So this is my new Facebook, hey Rhonda, my new Facebook, I'm thinking of a word for it, series I suppose. So I'm going live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and with a different card featuring a similar product, bundle, stamp set, whatever it may be. And so this was last week. We did the, which is probably backwards, we did the, why am I having a blank, basket of blooms, I think it was called. That's terrible. I've been writing the name so much all week and I should know it. But we did this one, and then we did this one on Wednesday, and then we finished off with this one on the Friday. So all of those cards are on my blog. You can see them all. Hello Laura, I hope you got your package today. I was just talking to my mum about you. So they're all on my blog with complete supply lists and everything, with tips and links to where you can buy all the products from in my store. If you're watching this on YouTube with the replay, all of the information about these and all of the information about my blog will be in the video description. Something I talked about last week is that on the weekend, I think it was Saturday, it was World Mental Health Day. And I decided in my wisdom last minute to put heaps of cards up for sale. So if you're a personal friend of mine on my personal Facebook, you can access an album with almost 100, I think, cards up there. I have sold lots of them, so I will be having, hello Cheryl, I will be having a bit of a restock hopefully really soon. But I've been selling the cards for $8.95 Australian each, including these ones. These were for sale as well. Some of the cards have multiples available, some are just one-offs, and then I'm donating $5 from each card to Beyond Blue. And hopefully you get it today or tomorrow, Laura. So I have already raised, I think, almost $400 for Beyond Blue. I haven't counted the sales from today yet. So I love to support such an amazing organisation. You can go and read my story with mental health on my page if you like. And then purchase some cards, support a great organisation and get some fun cards in the mail. They all come complete with an envelope. Some of the envelopes are decorated, which you would have seen in the lives for these videos, and I've just popped a business card in the back. They are stamped with the copyright symbol from Stampin' Up on the back of the card for the purposes of keeping in line with our angel policy at Stampin' Up to make sure the images are copyrighted. So that was a little bit of my weekend. I was packaging up cards. You should see my floor. There's package up cards everywhere. So that's what I'm doing. I'm probably going to do that. Oh, here's a sneak peek of some of them on my desk. So I've got all sorts of cards for all sorts of occasions, and I had heaps of these for sale. They're all $8.95, and yeah, $5 from each goes to Beyond Blue. So it's an amazing time to purchase some cards and contribute to an amazing organisation that helps lots of people from all kinds of walks of life. So this week we are going to feature, and because I'm running behind, I did not get this out before I started, silly me. We are featuring a Christmas set, which I know we're getting to that crazy time of year of Christmas, and I'm sure that you would have all seen the stores are starting to stock Christmas products. Don't mind me, I should alphabetize my stamps, but I haven't yet. And so I'm trying to find my Gnome stamp set. So this is the fun stamp set that we're going to be featuring this week in all 3 of my videos. And it's some fun little gnomes. Funny story with this one is that my husband is very short, so I kind of bought this stamp set as a bit of a laugh because I call him a bit of a gnome, and he works in the nursery section of Bunnings, so which is our, if you're international, it's like a plant hardware store. So I call him my little gnome, and So this one, I think it's probably this one here that reminds me of my hubby. So I thought I'm just going to do that one. Plus, Jodie, when you're watching, challenged me to make something a bit cutesy. So I made this one, and the good thing about this one is that it has sentiments with it. So last week I featured two different stamp sets because I had to bring in some sentiments. So this one you can purchase just the one stamp set, and you've got sentiments as well. Hello, Adele. I'll tell you how much it is. I probably should have bookmarked this in my catalogue. But you're known for the holidays. This is only $33. So you can purchase a stamp set. It doesn't come with matching dies or a punch. So if you're going to do some of the cards, I think 2 of them require fussy cutting, but very, very simple fussy cutting. I promise it's not as full on as last week. So let's get started. You would have seen a sneak peek of the card maybe if you joined the Facebook event. Haha, Adele. He puts up with it all the time. He either gets called a gnome or a leprechaun, but he's used to the short jokes in my family, so that's all right. My mum's here in the background, and she's a shorty as well, so she's used to it. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. I've just got to put my post-it note so I don't give you all motion sickness. We're going to do some masking today, so a bit of a fun technique to share, and we are going to do some colouring. So I'm just going to flip the camera.
1 or 2, Kat?
Just one, please. Okie doke. You can see my dirty bit of grid paper because I've been crafting all day yesterday. I had a lovely day crafting with some friends. I hope you guys got some crafty time on your weekend, whatever it may be. Okie doke. Stop playing with the buttons, Kayla. So this is the card we're going to make today. And it's got a cute little jingle bell. These were not leftover, but these were carried over from last year's catalogue. And I love them because they jingle and they're so much fun. Now, the fun thing about today's card is I'm going to show you how to mask. So if you may see from the card that I've actually stamped the tree stump, but I've got this little gnome lady, I assume it's a lady, actually in front of the tree stump. Now, if you stamped the tree stump and then stamped the gnome, you're going to have the tree stump stamping over the little gnome. So I'm going to show you a fun technique on how to mask if you want those images to be separate. So let's get started. Those that haven't watched my videos since I started last week, you can earn all the make and take packets for all 3 of the cards this week. So this is the one for today. You can earn them free by placing a $30 order in my store with the host code, which I have linked in the video description. And you can get those for free. If you spend $50 or more and use the same host code, you also get my monthly special, which is the Rainbow Glimmer Paper, which is worth $10.50 plus these free, plus the Stampin' Society October tutorial completely free. So lots of goodies to give away. I love giving away gifts, and that means that to make all the cards from this week's live, all you need is the Gnome for the Holidays stamp set, and you've got everything you need. All the other bits and bobs are supplied. The only things you may need is certain ink colours or, for example, blends or something like that, but you can substitute with similar items you have at home. So I'm just going to get started. I've made a little make and take packet for myself so that I can have everything cut and ready so that it doesn't take too long to share this with you. Okay, so I'll get all my bits and bobs out. So I'm going to share with you what's in the packet for today and some rough sizing. I'm just going to take some coffee because I talk too much. Okay, so what I have forgotten to include in the packet, and I need to go back and include, is the envelopes. So you'll get an envelope, and then I have got a card base using some real red, and this is a landscape fold here. I've got that, and then I've got a piece of basic black, or 2 pieces of basic black actually, cut at 14.3 by 9.9. Then I have a piece of the Trimming the Town DSP, so Designer Series paper, cut at 9.7 by 14.1, and that is for the outside of the card. And then a piece of thick Whisper White cut at 14.1 by 9.7, and that is for the card insert. And then I have one of our stitched rectangles, which I can show you which one this is. So these are our fabulous stitched rectangles. These are a great product because look how many dies you get inside this pack. There are tons. I love it. And now I've got to remind myself of which one I've used. So by the looks of this, I have used the third largest. So this one just here. So I've used the third largest stitched rectangle, and then I have cut a piece of basic black to be a little bit larger than this, so we've got a border. So I've cut this in inches. Let's have a look. 4 1/8 by 5.5 inches. Because this is measured in inches, I just did it in inches. Hello, Tanya. So I've done that for our little outside piece, and then I've just got a scrap of basic black and some Trimming the Town DSP for the inside of the card, which I didn't show you. So this one's going to go up the side here, and that's cut to, I think, 1.5 centimeters by 14.1. And then I also have a piece of the red velvet paper. I wish you could touch this through the video because it feels so amazing. It's 1 centimeter, and I've just done it at a length that's about the size of the card front, I think. Yeah, so it's, what's the card front? 10.5 centimeters. So in inches, that's roughly 7 inches, roughly. And I'm gonna just flag the ends of that so it doesn't matter too much. Now for my envelope, I have decorated this, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. I've also got a length of linen thread, which I'm just going to tie a bow and also add some to the inside of the card. And then a red jingle bell from our Jingle Bells pack and some gold gilded gems. Our Jingle Bell pack is amazing. I love our Jingle Bells, and they come in a green, a red and a gold. Aren't they fun? So that's those, and let's get started. So what I am going to do first is adhere some of the basic bits and pieces down so I can get them off my desk. So I'm just going to use some, yes, red velvet. You have to get some, Tanya. It's a beautiful paper. One of my favourite things from the new catalogue. It's amazing. I'll have to apologise because my neighbour's doing some outside work, so you may be able to hear them in the background. So I am just going to adhere my tiny piece of the Trimming the Town DSP to the side here. Just stick that down, and then I'm going to apply a tiny bit of adhesive to the edges here and grab my linen thread, which I'm going to use to hold down my linen thread while I wrap it around a couple of times. And then just trim the edge there, and then I will add a little bit more adhesive. Tanya, I have only just started my Christmas cards really, and I'm having such fun. But yes, getting yourself some Christmas items and you're all set. Hello, Sherry. Your velvet makes your blood run cold. Really? See, I love it. I can sit there and just play with it all day. So I'm going to mount this piece on some basic black, and then all I'll need to do is stamp that, but I'll get to that when I do my stamping. So now I can adhere this to the inside of my card. So I'm just using some Stampin' Seal adhesive to adhere that down, and then we've got that all stuck. So I'll pop this to the side for a second. Now I can adhere the basics down of this, so I'm going to adhere my DSP down to my black base. So I'm just adding some of the Stampin' Seal to that one, and then I'll adhere this to the black, and then I can adhere this down to the card front. I like to do this when I'm doing a live video so that I don't lose any bits on my desk, because I've got them all mostly adhered to the card. So I'm going to take now my stitched rectangle piece. Hello, Leslie. And hopefully I'm still in frame, is what I want to say. So what I'm going to do today is show you a fun way to mask. So what we'll need is our tree trunk image from the stamp set, and we'll also need our little gnome. So I think it's the lady gnome. I call her a lady. Now I'll show you simply what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get my sentiments out too. So I'm going to use that There's No Place Like Gnome for the Christmas season, which is so adorable, and a little Christmas wish on the inside. So, yeah, I got it out. So what I like to do for the masking is grab some Post-it note. Now these are fully sticky, which I find really good to get the fully sticky ones, because for masking that's what you want. Now these ones, if you're in Australia, I got from Kmart. Hello, Robin. Tanya, I'm on the new tape runners, so the Stampin' Seal. I love the Stampin' Seal normal one. I'm having some issues with the Stampin' Seal Plus, so my opinion's reserved on this one until I get a bit more of the hang of it. So I'm unsure, but I do use this one lots and love that one. So all I would do, I'm not going to actually do it because we want to save as much time as we can so we can get to the fun stuff. But I'll mount this stamp up because I'm going to need to anyway. So I would stamp this in Memento Black onto my sticky Post-it note, and I would stamp it onto the sticky Post-it note. Then, as I've done here, which I've already pre-done because this is the one I used on the original card, is I stamped it and simply cut around very close to the line, even a little bit inside the line on the Post-it note. So this is actually sticky. So that's what you want, because you'll see in a minute why you want that. So you need to stamp it on your Post-it note and cut it out. So I'm just going to pop that one to the side. So what we're going to do first is stamp our gnome image onto our piece like so. So you'll be able to see that just to the side. So we need our memento out, and I'm just going to ink our gnome lady. So I'm going to sit her about here, give her a really good press. Now she is all stamped. So what we're going to do now is, while that dries for a second, I'm going to mount up our tree trunk gnome home. That rhymes, isn't it cute? And then over the top of the gnome image, I'm actually going to stick our image that we've cut out from the Post-it note. I want that nicely adhered, and then we can ink up. Oh, hi Amanda, what are you crafting? Can't wait to see you make beautiful cards. Now I've inked up our gnome house image in Memento Black as well, and I'm actually just going to stamp that over the top of the gnome image. Now where the image meets, so where you're actually going over the top of the gnome, you're going to have a tiny seam where it's going to go over the Post-it note. Now that will require a little bit extra pressure because you're going over 2 layers. So I just like to give that a little bit more of a press, hold it down for a few seconds, then pull it up. Now this looks terrible, as you can see. So you're thinking, what on the earth have I done? So all you need to do is pick up your stamped image and look at that. Isn't it cool that you can get a fun image where you've stamped both images over the top of one another? So that is what we call masking. Now, while I'm stamping, and before we colour this, I might just stamp, oh, I'm not going to put that away. I might just stamp out a couple of other images. So we want A Little Christmas Wish. And we're going to stamp that on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to stamp that towards the bottom. So that's the inside of our card done. And then the other piece we want to stamp is There's No Place Like Gnome for the Christmas season. And all we're going to do is add our embossing buddy, grab some Versamark, because you know that I can't do a card without heat embossing, of course. And then I'm going to stamp our sentiment. Whoopsie. Hopefully that didn't affect that. We'll see. Okay, so I've stamped that, and I'm going to grab my white embossing powder and ink this up. So I like to let it sit there for a second, and then I'll give it a bit of a tap and a flick. Tap and flick. It's like that movie, Bend and Snap. Okay. So I'll pop my embossing powder out of the way and shut the lid, because I always have disasters if I don't. I would have, yeah, Laura, there's lots of different options that you can do. Layered would also look really cool. So I'm just going to heat up my heat gun. Now it is to the side, so usually you cannot see me heat emboss. Now with these masked images too, I would keep this. So I would keep this on the inside of your stamp case. So when I do a masked image, I will actually just stick that on the inside. I'm just going to put it there at the moment, because you can use that again and again. So I'm just heat embossing to the side because my heat gun doesn't quite reach. And I like to heat, I don't know if you can actually see if I really stretch it. I like to heat from the bottom. It's a personal preference, you can do it either way, but I'm generally a heat from the bottom kind of girl. So I've got that sitting there, so that's all ready to go. That's all our stamping done. Now we're just going to do some colouring. So for my Gnome images, I've coloured with quite a few different colours. Now if I pull these all forward, you may be able to see quite the range of colours I've used. You can mix and match with what you have, of course. You don't have to do all the same colours that I've done. So here, from left to right, I've got Crumb Cake, Soft Suede, Granny Apple Green, Just Jade, Real Red, the Dark Mango Melody, Dark Pumpkin Pie, Cinnamon Cider, and Mint Macaron. Now all of these are available in the store, but they come in a pack of 2. So you get the dark and the light in each packet. You cannot buy them individually, they do come in packets. You used to be able to buy them individually, but now they're sold in 2s. I think off the top of my head, they're $15.50 for a set of 2. They're amazing, and I can't imagine stamping without them now. I'm a little bit addicted. So what I'm going to do first is actually, I may have forgotten some colours, so hopefully not, but we'll go with it. I'm going to actually layer my tree with the brush tip end, because I have a bit of area to cover, with the light Crumb Cake. So I'm just going to go around trying not to, I've got my glasses on, so hopefully it's not a disaster. And I'm just going to layer the colour all over our tree stump. I love these little gnome houses, and it reminds me of Hobbiton in New Zealand. I don't know from those that are watching who else has been there, but that was an amazing day spent at Hobbiton when I went with some lovely crafters. I actually went when I was at the Stampin' Up on Stage event in Auckland, and we had a day at Hobbiton, and the little hobbit houses reminded me of these. So really, really cute. So there's my base of Crumb Cake. I'll just also add it to the door. I actually love the smell of Stampin' Up markers. I don't know if that makes me really weird, maybe. Now I'm going to go in with my dark Crumb Cake and just also add a few more layers, and I'm going to kind of add it to the areas that I think would be darker, so you can kind of see maybe the edges around where the leaves are hitting the house perhaps. I kind of muck around. I'm not by any means fancy with my colouring. Just let the wind take me. So there we go, and then I'm going to go back in again with some light soft suede, adding some more darker areas to my house, and then I'm going to do the window pane and also the edge of the doorknob, and I might do round where the grass is going to hit and this darker bit here. I've got a bit more, what's this one, light soft suede. So you have to let me know if you started making your Christmas cards yet, or what kind of crafting you're up to at the moment. Then I'm going to go back in with my light Crumb Cake and kind of blend it out a bit. so that those colours really blend together. So those that have seen my mum on my Facebook page, she's outside planting a herb garden that my sister's partner made me. Well, Mum came round today with some beautiful herbs to plant for me, and she's out there putting together my herb garden, which is so lovely. I love my mumsy. She's right outside the craft window. So I'm just blending that all out, and with Stampin' blends, they are an alcohol marker, but they do take a minute to work, so don't worry if it looks like it's not blending. Give it a minute and it will. You're making a Christmas card right now. I'd love to see, Leslie. You'll have to pop it up on the page, our group page on our team. Now I'm going to go in while that works, and then I can always go back and add more if I need to. I'm going to just add some granny apple green to both my leaves and the grass. So then I'm going to go in with the light and blend that all out and add some lighter pieces. Oh. And then we've got our grassy bits. Actually, I think I've also added granny apple green to little bits of holly on the Gnome girl's dress. And then I did bleed out the colour a little bit too much on those windows, but that's okay. Might add a little bit of our beautiful colour lifter pen. I had to remind myself of what it was called then. The colour lifter pen will lift some of that colour, and then I might go in with our, what's this one, Dark Pool Party, and I'll add a bit of blue over the top. It's still going to have a bit of a brown skin. It's okay, like it's not supposed to be perfect, but I'll do that, and then I'll add the lighter one on the other side. So that our door has a bit of blue, or you could do a nice warm light from back behind there as well. So then I have done some little red lights here on our little, oops, I went the wrong way. This is the dark, and then we've got our light real red here. And then I've also got a yellow light, which I only got one out of, but that's okay. And then I might bring in some Bermuda Bay, which I didn't say in the first bit, but I'm just introducing a whole bunch of colours. And then I will add some, what's this one, Dark Smoky Slate to do the tops of my lights. Oops, I missed a light. Is that a light? Yes, it is a light. What colour would that be? Bermuda Bay. Okay, so then I might do the little bobbles on the hat. So I'm just going to do these in the dark mango melody. And then the actual hat itself I have done with some mint macaron. So I'm going to add, I'm quite a sucker for adding my darkest colour first. So I'm just going to go from the left hand side and add my darkest highlights on the left hand side. And then I'll go back, all lace at the moment for now. We're still working on that. Oh, that'll be beautiful, Laura. You'll have to share a picture with me. So then I'm going to go back in with my light mint macaron and blend out my dark and continue adding that so that it is all nicely blended. Now, as I said with the tree stump, alcohol markers tend to take a little bit to actually blend, so don't worry if they're not blending straight away. They do take a moment. blend this all out and give that a minute. And then I'm just going to do a star at the top of my tree in some dark pumpkin pie. And then for her face, I did forget to mention, I'm going to use some Petal Pink, because that is a beautiful, the light Petal Pink is a beautiful skin tone. So I'm going to do her face and her little nose and her hands, and there's a little bit of neck showing there. And then I'll bring the dark Petal Pink in just to add some definition to the side of her nose. I could even probably do some on just the side of her face there. And then I'll bring the light Petal Pink back in to blend that out. And then I'm going to bring in some cinnamon cider just to do a little bit of her hair. So we've got some beautiful cinnamon cider there. And then for her dress, I have done a mixture of Just Jade and Real Red. So I might just do the big pieces that are in Real Reds. The apron I'm going to do in Just Jade. Whoops. We've had a little mishap there, but that's okay. So the little arms are done in the Real Red. And I'm just going to bring in the colour lifter again, because I find the quicker you bring the colour lifter in, if you do have a mishap, the better. And I'll just let that do its thing. And then I'm going to apply some of the dark Real Red just to the bottoms. And then bring in my light Real Red. Sorry if you can't see this bit. I'm trying to stay in the lines, because this is not an image that I'm fussy cutting out. It's directly on the card, which can be nerve-wracking. And then I'm just going to do some crumb cake for the little boots. And then I'm going to come in and do some dark Just Jade for the apron, which is good because I can go over the little bits where it did bleed a little. And then I'll go in with the light Just Jade just to blend that out. The Just Jade is one of our in colours, so they last for a year, or 2 years, sorry. There's 5 new colours introduced every year, and they last 2 years. So whenever we introduce 5 new colours, we say goodbye to 5 colours. So this is one of our newest ones. So it is around to stay for a fair bit longer. And it's a gorgeous colour. I do love Just Jade. It was probably my favourite, along with the cinnamon cider, which is also one of the fabulous newest colours. I do love them. Now, just going to fix. Apparently I need a stronger description on my glasses because I'm missing. Maybe she's wearing gloves today. We'll just go with that. So then I'm going to do some little berries, some little red berries. And then I'm going to do my little pebbles here. So to do the pebbles, I'm just going to maybe add a little bit of the soft suede in the light, just to add a touch of darkness to the side of my pebbles. And then I'm going to add some light crumb cake, sorry, which is just here. So I'll just add that and blend that out. So I've been on for 33 minutes, so we're not doing too bad. Could be worse. My videos, honestly, they always take like an hour. I'm trying to rein it in, guys. I'm an obsessive person where I have to go back and add more and more. I need to stop it. You'll have to just put exclamation marks and go, Kayla, seriously. Okay. Okay, so all good. So now we can stick this to, where's my adhesive? There it is. We can stick this to our layer of basic black. that was pre-cut. You've got a beautiful like nails on chalkboard sound in the background with my neighbour at the moment. So then I'm going to stick this to my card front on some dimensionals. So I'll bring this in. Have I frozen? I hope not. Can you see me? It says I'm live. I hope you can see me. So this is the finished coloured piece. And then I'm going to stick this to our background on some Stampin' dimensionals. That's all right, Robin. You can catch the replay. Hey, Sue. My biggest suggestion, if it does feel like it's freezing, is to go out and come back in again. So I'm just going to peel all the backings off my Stampin' dimensionals. Oh, good, Sherry. I hope it's working okay for everybody else. So now I'm going to adhere this to my card, and then I can go and grab my bit of red velvet. I'm going to show you something cool in a minute too. And I'm just going to snip that. I can always, you're better to cut off too little than too much, because you can always go back in. Now I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal just to mostly the middle of that, and then adhere that to my card. And then we can tie our little bit of, oh, we've got some leftover linen thread here, and we're going to grab our jingle bell and pop our linen thread through the middle. Hopefully this will be enough linen thread, otherwise I'll grab some more. I like a nice big bow, and I don't think this is going to be quite as big as Kayla's normal bows, so we'll just see how it goes. Can I cope with a bit of a smaller bow today? I think that'll be fine. Okay, so now we need to cut our sentiment that we have pre-embossed. So I'm going to bring in my small trimmer. But you may not have one of these, and that's fine. You can just do it with scissors. That's totally okay. But I love my small trimmer. This was a promotion for joining Stampin' Up at one point that we had, and you cannot purchase them, I don't believe, anymore. But I love mine for things like this, when you've got to cut sentiments down. So I'm just going to... Sometimes it goes horribly wrong, and then you think, oh my goodness, what have I done? And other times it's perfect. I think I've got it down to a bit of a fine art now. I can usually tell if it's going to be good, so I like to do it this way, and then I go so there's just the right amount showing. Right, there we go. So now I have got my sentiment, and then if I need to, I can just trim that off. I'm going to get some of our liquid glue and decide roughly where my sentiment is going to go. So I want to go roughly there. So I'm just going to pull that up and add a little touch of our liquid glue. Do not stick it upside down, like I almost just did. And then I'll add a touch more liquid glue and stick the rest of that down. And then for our ribbon, for our linen thread with our jingle bell, I suggest using glue dots. That's the best thing to adhere something like this down. Thanks, Leslie, for watching. You can always watch the replay if you have to go. That's totally fine. Thanks for dropping by. Now, I've got a glue dot on my little bit of linen thread there, and I'm just going to stick that down and use my little pokey tool to press it down. I hope that you can see okay. I probably need to zoom in a bit more. Hopefully that's fine. So now I've got most of it done. I'm going to add my little bits of the gold gilded gems. These are fabulous embellishments and come like this. These were one of my favourite things, and it actually doesn't look like you get much, but when you open these up, so this is a new packet, just open them up, you actually get heaps. There's more behind there. So there's lots of jewels in there. I think, does it tell you how many? 90. So there's 90 jewels to a packet. They're amazing. They come in 3 different sizes. So these are great, especially for Christmas cards. So these are all included in your make and take kit if you get yourself a make and take kit by ordering. And I'm going to place my usual 3, which is what I always do if you watch my videos. It's usually 3 or 5. And I'm going to do them in a bit of a triangle here. So I've got those down. Now there's one more thing that I'm going to add to this card, which is something that I'm loving at the moment, and that is our shimmery crystal effects. I think that this is really cheap. I don't know the price off the top of my head, but I'll quickly check in the catalogue for you. I'm pretty sure it's only like $8 something. Shimmery crystal effects. I'm positive it's in, maybe it's in this bit. I know it's in the back. Shimmery crystal effects. Where are you? Don't you love it when you don't want to find something, you can open to exactly the right page, and then when you need to find it in a hurry, you can never find it. It'll be on this page. Shimmery crystal effects, number 7. So it is $8.75 for a whole tube, and this will last you ages. So you love 3 and 5. Yes, true. Odd numbers. That's the way to go. So what I'm going to do is add the shimmery crystal effects to my little baubles. Well, not baubles. What are they called? Shimmering lights in my gnome house. Now this is similar to crystal effects, or I don't think it's called crystal effects. It's called something else, and I can't remember what the name of it was. Glossy effects, I think it was. If you've ever used that, it's very similar. It's got a slight shimmer to it. So I'm just adding it to my lights on my gnome house, and I'm also adding it to the baubles in the gnome's hair. And you just want to apply a tiny bit, and it may come up with a little point, but just let that dry and settle, and it will be fine. And I'm going to add it also to the star in her hair. So that won't take long to dry at all. You'll be surprised. And then it will dry like this, if you can see that. If it's got a slight textured effect, hopefully you can see. So it's an extra fun little something to add to a card. And then, of course, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella. So I'm going to splatter that onto my card background. Some sparkle. So my crystal effects is still drying. And then we've got our finished card. And then all you need to do is get an envelope. You can decorate it if you wish. I've added the other stamp from the stamp set, which I've sat on my desk. Oh, there we go. So I've added the Holly Jolly Everything in some real red. And then using the envelope dies that I always talk about in my videos, I have added some Trimming the Town DSP, the same one that I've used on the background. So the envelope dies that I always use and always talk about because I love them so much, and I'll cry if they ever retire them, the code is 153531, and the fabulous biggest die in that set makes this fun little envelope insert. So it's this die here. Makes a fun envelope insert that you can then decorate your envelopes with. So this is one of our standard size envelopes. So I think it's fun to give a finished card. They open it up and they can see it's all matching, and they can see that you've made some beautiful effort into their homemade festive card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, sharing the first of the Gnome for the Holidays cards that I'm featuring this week. Don't forget, if you've missed the first bit of the video, go back and it's available to watch. And if you want to get all the make and take packets free from this week, to make all 3 of the cards I'm featuring, just spend $30 or more in my store and use the host code in the video description. Spend $50 or more and you will get all of these packets for free, along with the Rainbow Glimmer Paper worth $10.50 and the free October Stampin' Society tutorial. So that's my video for today, and I think I did it in under an hour, 44 minutes, so I'm getting better. And on Wednesday and on Friday, I have 2 more cards for the week, and I'll give you a little sneak peek. There's events on my Facebook page, so be sure to check them out and RSVP so you get a reminder of the events that I'm doing. And thank you guys so much for popping in and supporting me as always. Love you guys lots, and I will catch you on Wednesday. It is a little bit of a later start time, so I'll be beginning at 4 because I do have an appointment that does clash a little bit. So I'll still be here, but just a little bit later than usual. So thanks, guys. Be sure to give me a like and a thumbs up or share my video. It's always much appreciated. Bye, guys.